This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth with breaking news today, as reports are now confirming that a U.S.-led coalition has just shot down a Syrian warplane inside the southern eastern regions of Raqqa in Syria, and this happened while they were engaging ISIS. So this is a major escalation by the Donald Trump administration in this proxy war, which is now kicked into overdrive. So in this video, we're going to talk about Donald Trump's foreign policy and how he is now ultimately aligning himself with the rebels, with ISIS, against the Syrian government, who is there actively fighting them. The U.S.-led so-called anti-terrorist coalition has reportedly shot down a Syrian government forces aircraft. Reuters reports that the Syrian Arab Army announced that the aircraft was brought down in the southern Raqqa countryside while it was engaging a fleeing ISIS convoy. The pilot remains missing. And according to this journalist here on the grounds, the U.S.-led coalition has shot down one of their fighter jets that was engaging a fleeing ISIL convoy in Raqqa, 30 kilometers southeast of Raqqa. This is such a blatant attack on the counterterrorism efforts by the Syrian army, because the whole reason for these rebels and ISIS for being there in the first place is to create so much destabilization in that region that the U.S. can then step in as the humanitarian saviors. Well, it's hard to do that when the Syrian army steals their thunder by wiping out what the Western military-industrial complex has invested so much money and time and effort into. The modus operandi here is order out of chaos, and that's why they need to maintain a certain level of chaos. If the Syrian army just wipes out their boogeymen, which they've installed there, well, then there'd be no more of a need to invade Syria and eventually Iran. It's only been 10 days since we posted this video. Syrian proxy war escalates as Trump and Saudi Arabia start war with Qatar and Iran. And now, today, Iran launches missile strikes against terror bases in eastern Syria, and this comes in retaliation for ISIS-claimed attacks in Tehran. And as this reporter here points out, it's the first operational use of mid-range missiles by Iran since war with Iraq. So as it is now, the Syrians are successfully bombing ISIS, the Iranians are successfully bombing ISIS, and the United States are stepping in to block them in their efforts here. I mean, it couldn't be any more obvious right now that Donald Trump and the deep state behind him want and need ISIS to thrive. So now the question is the Trump administration going to have Iran in the crosshairs as a result of today's strikes as well? It really can't get any more obvious as to who the real face of terrorism is in the Middle East, especially in light of all of today's attacks. It should be clear now that it is the U.S., along with their Israeli and Saudi Arabian allies, who fund, arm, and train, and now blatantly defend the very terrorists that they are allegedly there fighting. Share this video with your friends and your family so we can let the people of the world know just who the real enemy is. Criminal elements within the United States intelligence communities and their Saudi Arabian and Israeli intelligence allies who have pulled the wool over your eyes in regards to what's actually happening in the Middle East. And of course, the only reason why I'm able to provide any of this kind of information to you on YouTube is because of the support from you, the viewers. As I'm sure many of you know, YouTube has reduced my ad revenue by 90%, but thanks to the patrons at patreon.com/pressfortruth, I'm now able to continue producing videos, and with your continued support, we'll be able to ramp up our efforts. So if you'd like to see this kind of information continue to spread, and if you'd like to see Press for Truth grow into a more effective media outlet than it is today, please consider making a contribution. Even just a few dollars a month goes a long way with helping me to expose the inner workings of these global elitists who seek to control us. So thank you so much to anyone who has contributed by donating at the links below or by becoming a PFT patron. And stay tuned, my friends, we've got more video reports coming soon. This is Dan Dix reporting for Press for Truth.